Welcome back to How to Be Miserable, strategies for making your life worse than it already is. Subscribe if that's your agenda, or if you're looking at making things better by seeing how people make things worse. Consider subscribing by pressing the button below. Today I'm looking at your to-do list and all the chores on it that you have to carry out in order to keep your life going. Pay bills, paint the bathroom, cook meals, do your physio exercises, do laundry, pick the kids up, drop the kids off, whatever. When I was a child, I used to think, what's my life? Well, my life was playing with friends, or building plastic models from Star Trek, or figuring out new ways to climb onto the garage, or riding my bicycle. And it seemed like life was always conspiring to rob that from me. It's my job to mow the lawn. Fine. And do dishes. Oh, okay. And study geography. Right. And just when one thing was done, another would take its place. Summer is over. Crap. But no more mowing the lawn. Yay. What? The leaves? What about them? Fine. Rake the leaves. Then clear the snow off the sidewalk. Luckily, we lived in Vancouver, so it didn't snow all that often. But it seemed that a day had a fixed number of hours, and in those hours I could live my life. And I thought of all those chores and studying and cleaning my room as taking away from that time, whittling it away. Now, I used to think that if I didn't defend it, my time would get whittled down to nothing. Maybe that's how I got reasonably good at assertiveness and wound up writing the Assertiveness Workbook. Now, the effect of this way of thinking was to build discontent. When I was raking leaves, I was impatient. I was being held back from doing something else. Raking was a blockage to my life. Raking leaves is not the most exciting thing in the world, but focusing on what it wasn't, which was something else that I imagined I'd be doing instead, that made it worse. And then I looked forward at adulthood. Now, I wasn't the slave around the house. My parents worked harder than I did, making meals, grocery shopping, planting things in the garden, digging things back out of the garden, repairing the cement cracks in the garage. Why? And going to work and spending all day there. What about holidays, though? Well, that was even worse. It meant even more cleaning, more cooking, more vacuuming, and then spending hours eating or sitting around talking. Some adults I knew seemed to work continuously all year long, looking forward to a 1-week holiday once a year when they could relax. That was their life. That 1 week. It looks like the time to live my life would be even less when I grew up. I wouldn't be more free. I'd be less free. Not very inspiring. Now, we learn things pretty deeply in our childhood. Things get etched more firmly than later on. So we can take those ideas and ways of thinking and hang on to them without realizing it as we go on with our life. So you can think, what's my life? And it's playing hockey, or going to the pub with friends, or hiking, or travel. And at some point, it becomes sitting around a dinner table with friends for hours. But it is true that the list of chores gets longer. You have to figure out the home insurance. You have to buy toothpaste, repair stuff, find places to put all the stuff you bought because you thought it would make you happy. And the older you get, the more attention your body needs too. It used to pretty much take care of itself, and you were active enough that you didn't need to plan out more exercise. As the years pass, you need to do a little more and a little more stretching, yoga, exercises, physio exercises, watching your diet. It's on a kind of curve, and it's easy to panic that it's going to become a full-time job with no room for anything else. Years ago, my husband and I bought what I call on this site misery farms. We grow tree fruit. And when we bought it, I thought, what are we doing? I've worked hard. I run a big psychological practice. I write books. I fly around doing therapist training workshops. I do this thing, though I wasn't doing that back then. That's enough. Enough already. When I moved out of my parents' house, I swore one thing. I will never own a lawn again. And in the city, I don't. Misery farms? Well, what do you think is between the fruit trees? And everything breaks, everything. And trees need pruning and irrigation systems. They haven't evolved in 100 years. And fruit needs picking. And it woke up that thought from childhood. When do I get to live my life? And I had to go back and remind myself of a realization I first had in graduate school. My life is not the space between duties. It doesn't exist in the gaps when everything is done. For one thing, everything is never done. It's not limited to times when friends are around the dinner table or when I'm traveling for fun or hiking in the mountains. Picking fruit is my life. Pruning apple trees is my life. Walking to work is my life. Buying toothpaste is my life. Going to the dentist, working out, cleaning up the kitchen, repairing a fence, painting a bathroom, that is my life. It's all my life. When I catch myself complaining or magnifying my discontent with a task, I go back to the phrase, I'm living my life, or this is my life. And when I look at it this way, I realize something. What do I actually do during those gaps? Yeah, sure, some of it is spending time with friends. Some of it is in the wilderness. But some of it is surfing the net or watching Netflix, going down rabbit holes and pretending that it's research. If I really look at the level of satisfaction between what as a child I would have called my life, my time, and then chore time is often more satisfying. If I'm not rebelling against it, it's fine. Walking to the grocery store because we're out of a spice I need, I can curse that and rush through it and dwell on what I could have been doing instead. Or I can look at the trees and relax. The unpleasantness is not created by the chore. It's created by my way of thinking about it. When I think a little bigger and include more things in my life, it feels completely different. This doesn't mean you accept everything. If you're in a job that doesn't interest you, you can look for another one. If you hate mowing the lawn, you can move. If you spend all your time taking care of too much stuff, you can get rid of it. So this isn't about not steering your life. It's about recognizing that our lives include all of it. Clipping your toenails, doing your taxes, looking for a wrench, taking out the recycling, all of it. To be miserable, divide your life into two categories, you and not you. Your life and impediments. And when your time is taken up with those impediments, rebel, ramp up your resentment, and view them as barriers to your existence. Deny the reality. This is your existence. This is part of a human life. Flossing your teeth, unclogging a drain, waiting on hold, writing your resume, studying geography. Those categories don't really exist except in your own mind. If you relinquish them, your life gets bigger. Thanks for watching. For more ideas about how we impair our own lives, take a look at my book, How to Be Miserable, or How to Be Miserable in Your 20s, and consider subscribing by pressing the button.